Bubba's? You getting in the shade? I don't blame you, it's hot. Willow, you soaking up the sun? Alright, so today is July 1st. So I figured I'd take some time and do a July tour of the garden. Hey, Chrissy-Ann. So the petunias are doing excellent. And just to show off again, all of the weeds are gone. Uncle Dev weeded while he was here visiting, and it looks so much better. And he did ask me to leave the fountain on, so I did this time. Alright, let's go out and look at the wildflower garden. So while Uncle Dev was here, he weeded the wildflower garden and threw some more seeds in. So I'm still hopeful that this area is going to be beautiful during the summer and self-seed, and then in the spring we'll have all the daffodils come up. Hey, the calla lily came up. I thought all the deer ate them. Wonderful. I'm excited about that. Hopefully it'll do well, and the rest of the bulbs are still in there too. And the cannas there are enjoying where we got a ½ inch of rain yesterday. Actually, everything is doing really well where we had a ½ inch of rain. We really needed it. So this has been a successful deer deterrent. So these are chives that I put in here, and you can see that no more deer damage. That begonia is looking beautiful and growing so well. Excited about that. The angel trumpet is doing really good. It has grown all the way up to the light post. And just a look back into the courtyard. Y'all tell me what you think this is. I think it might be a beautyberry. It does have some little berries on it. And it's interesting because the deer, I don't know if you can see, the deer ate the entire top of it across, just shaved it level with the wall. And then once the angel trumpet vine started growing, the deer left this alone, and look how tall it is now. So this is inside my 3-season porch, and fortunately we have a hummingbird that is in here and stuck. So I just wanted to show you the hummingbird, and then I'm gonna save him and get him out of here. Hey, Raleigh boy. Alright, I want to see if I can show you the rain gauge to show you the water we got yesterday. So that's not a terrible rain. It's still a lot less than we needed with the drought we were in. We needed a lot more, but that's okay. And then look at this Indian rope plant. It is actually blooming. Oh my gosh, that is gorgeous. There we go, now it's zoomed. So pretty. All right, Riley, Chrissy, and you gonna go down? Come on. Come on, Riley. As you can see, I definitely maintain the wabi-sabi, unruly, wild, chaos gardening in the backyard like I do in the front. I love the lushness of it. The plants seem to like it too, they don't complain. Right, Raleigh. Now you'll see that the butterfly bushes could be deadheaded. I typically don't deadhead them. Obviously, I'm a frugal, lazy gardener. If y'all watched any of my videos so far. You can, but you don't have to. They will continue blooming, as you can see. Right here, got a new flower, and then amongst several spent flowers. So they will continue to bloom even if you don't deadhead them. But you can, if you like a more tidy look than I do, you can go in and just snip those off. Hey, there's a bee that hadn't woken up yet. Good morning, little bee. Say good morning. There's two of them. Once the sun hits that area, they'll be awake and they'll be looking for something new to eat. And what are you? I don't know. Some type of moth. That's the good thing about gardening how I do, where I don't use pesticides or insecticides. I get tons of interesting insects in the yard. And here's this volunteer tomato plant that came up in my pot of strawberries. I just left it. It's doing pretty good. It actually has some flowers on it, so we'll see if we get some good tomatoes. The fun thing about a volunteer is you don't know exactly what it is. You don't know what type. So that could be any type of tomato. Who knows? So I'm excited to find out. There's Raleigh Boy again. Man, everything is so happy that we got rain. And there's another bee awake on that purple cleome. And can we just take a moment to talk about the amazingness of amaranth? So as you can see, this amaranth has been absolutely decimated by beetles. There's some beetles on it eating right now. But look at this flower. That is just gorgeous. So I have two of the pink. There's one here and one here. And then I have two of this color. And again, it's just amazing to me that the beetles just put holes all over these leaves. I mean, look at this one. It's practically a skeleton of a leaf. But that plant is still able to put a beautiful flower out. One thing about wabi-sabi gardening like I do, because I plant very condensed, because I don't like to weed. Obviously, y'all know that about me. There's a little bit of survival of the fittest, and that there's sometimes that you know I look in here and I'm like, wow, something's gone because it just didn't get enough sun because something fell on top of it. But you know, that's part of how I garden, so it's okay. And these Rudbeckia are absolutely gorgeous. Trying to show there are little bees all over. I don't know if you can see them. And then the sunflower. So the sunflower is starting to fall over. Now would be the time, if you wanted to collect the seeds, you would cut the sunflower at the base. You would turn it upside down and hang it from somewhere. Put a pillowcase over the sunflower head, and that way as it dries, the sunflowers, or the seeds, the sunflower seeds would drop into the pillowcase, and that's a great way to collect them. I love feeding birds, so I'm gonna leave these just as they are, and I'm hoping that they go to seed where they're at and that the birds will really enjoy them. The one that I want to try to get seeds out of, just so I have some more next year, is this one. So this is the chocolate. It's only got one little petal left, but I'm hoping I'll be able to collect seeds and grow some more next year. These zinnias are really showing out in this particular raised bed. They are so pretty. And again, with zinnias, I try to let them go to seed and collect my own seed, and then that way I can grow zinnias again next year without having to buy more seeds. Good morning, bee. So I was watching another YouTuber's channel, and they had dahlias that were big and beautiful, and I'm like, mine are not that big. But then I remembered I started all of my dahlias from seed, and so they had a lot of growing to do. So when I think about it that way, I'm like, yeah, I think they're doing great for, you know, the fact that I grew them from seed this year. And this bed looks like a lot of gladiolus. I thought I had planted freesia in here, but these are all gladiolus. Not complaining, they're absolutely beautiful. And they are leaning over the calla lily, nasturtium, and zinnia bed that I put in front of it. Yeah, I need to take these that have been broken in the storm and take them inside and put them in a vase. You can see I'm sure they'd be a lot happier if they got more sun, but I don't know. I want to make sure that I don't cut back any of the leaves too early. I want to make sure they have time to rejuvenate all the bulbs for next year. Ooh, that's pretty. It's kind of white with a purple. And then this pink one, look at the throat of it. You know, this is what you get when you buy like I do. I buy mixed bags, so I don't really know what I'm gonna get. And I think that's part of the fun. So that's a Meyer lemon tree, and that's my cherry tree. You can see my cherry tree is getting decimated by Japanese beetles. But it's still doing okay, so I'm gonna let it fight it out, see how it does. And in the base here, I've got more gladiolus. And then that's alyssum. And then I've got another amaranth. I don't think I planted that, but sometimes what happens is when I'm out here, you know, I'm not fussy about things. So I might be planting seeds in one area, and there might be a seed stuck on my fingers that I don't even pay attention to. And then I move to work in a different area, and sometimes I'll transfer seeds accidentally that way. And this is that wildflower bed where I just threw random seeds in. I think they call it chaos gardening, when you just randomly throw seeds in and see what grows. I will say it's very beautiful. And the white butterfly bush. Boy, it is showing off. It loved that rain. I don't have a butterfly on it. Let me see if I can show you the bee. So just to remind everyone, that's the butterfly bush that I moved, and Thomas helped me, and he thought it was dead. I knew it would come back, but it did get looking a lot rough than I thought it would. So I'm glad to see that it's recovered and bounced back. And then here's the blueberry bushes that are doing good. And again, I know that these are planted too close, but I do that because I don't like to weed, and I kind of let the flowers crowd out the weeds. That yellow in the middle is a lantana. It will absolutely fill up and take over that entire bed if I leave it there too long. So at some point I'm going to have to find somewhere else to put it, but right now I think it's very pretty in here. And there's my citrus bed. And yes, I do cover this with a frost cloth during the winter. I've had several of these several years, so they do just fine in our area. You do kind of have to take care of them a little bit. Again, they do not like to get too cold in the winter. But you can see, got some flowers there, and I've got some baby citrus. This bed is still trying to fill out. You know, that's one of the challenges when you are a frugal gardener and you garden mainly from seeds or cuttings that you take. Seeds can sometimes take a long time to really get going. I don't know if you can see, but there's some biennials in there. They just really aren't doing anything yet, but they will. And I think, yeah, that's the carrot flower. So that is a patch of carrots, and carrots are biennial too, by the way. So they will actually flower the second year. And the flowers look very similar to Queen Anne's lace or Daria. I think I'm saying that right. It's a white umbral, very beautiful, very pretty. Pollinators love them. So if I have something that I didn't harvest yet, I don't worry about it because I know I'm going to get beautiful flowers. And I'll get seeds that I can collect and use next year. And the rose bush is starting to put out some new growth. Now that rose bush blooms in the early spring. It doesn't last long. It's very pretty, but man, it's got some wicked thorns. I mean, look at those thorns. The previous homeowner planted that, and I've just been leaving it, letting it go. I don't know, we'll see. I really don't like those thorns, just to be honest. Now that is oregano that was pretty much dead from lack of rain because I didn't supplement it, but it looked like that ½ inch we got yesterday really brought it back to life. It's almost like a resurrection plant, if y'all ever seen those. Same thing with the parsley. There's weeds in there. I just need to get in there and weed. I hadn't yet. The tomato plant that I planted with y'all is doing very good. It's actually starting to grow above the fence at this point. That's thanks to Miss Willow's idea. She had the idea of putting the cage on the outside so that the deer couldn't reach over and eat the top. And that has worked very well. Got a couple of tomatoes on there I need to harvest. Alright, we're going to have plenty of snapdragon seeds. Look at all those seeds. Awesome. And my birdhouse gourd is still doing good. You can tell the plant really liked the rain because it sent out a new shoot. This is my first time ever growing that, so we'll see. What I might do is if I get any more gourds while they're small, I might just take them off with snips and just let that one grow, see how big it'll get. And then this is what I am dubbing my herb garden. And you see it's doing really well. It liked the rain also. Except my dill. My dill right there is not very happy. I think it got too dry and too hot there for a little bit before the rain came. And there's my thyme. You know, I keep going back and forth. Do I want to pull this off of the fence and get rid of it? Or do I just want to keep it? Because the bugs love it. And I actually enjoy sucking on the honeysuckle flowers myself. So, as of right now, it's kept its place on the fence. Even though it is starting to get into my thyme a little bit. And it's starting to get over here where I've got some lilies planted. Wow. Okay. So look at that. That is broccoli that has been decimated by worms. And I don't know if you can see him, but there's a little culprit worm right there. And there's another worm right there. Now that broccoli I did not plan on getting anything from. I was using that broccoli as a trap crop. So I might just leave it alone, let them eat it, and not worry about it. This is not a grass, by the way. This is actually sugar cane. See, it's very tall. I had 4 canes of sugar that I planted in there. Only one of them lived. Some more sunflowers. 4 o'clock. Asparagus. That is cosmos. Alright, where we had the storm, we have a couple of tomatoes that have fallen over on top of my pepper plant. So I might come out here and tie them up later. But you can see I've ripped out the zucchini. I cut that down, and it's actually using as a support for the cardinal flower. Got some tomatoes back in there. Some peppers I need to harvest. And look at this tomato. It is doing so good. I've got some more tomatoes down here. Got the lily. That's the tobacco plant, but it's an ornamental tobacco plant. Got another tomato there. Got some more lilies. And then this broke in the storm, and I just kind of stuck it in the fence. I need to come out here and cut it and take the flowers and put them in a vase inside. But again, you can see I just have insects all over my garden. And I attribute it to the fact that I've got a mismatch of various plants. I don't have a lot of one particular type of flower. I have a lot of different types of flowers, different shaped flowers, and I don't use insecticides. And the canna is blooming and beautiful right there. Man, the hydrangeas, they needed that rain and they love it, don't they? Now again, with hydrangeas, you can come in and deadhead right below the flower above a set of leaves. Or you can just leave them, which is what I do. I don't get fussy about my garden. And the hibiscus is blooming and beautiful. It's amazing how big and beautiful they are when you don't have deer eating on them. Alright, I've got another ground cherry right there. And those are some volunteer tomatoes. Don't know what they are yet, but we'll find out soon enough. Looking forward to it. Now there is one dahlia that got planted over here, just because it is more shady, as you can see. I would say this is probably 6 hours of sun every day, but it doesn't get that hot afternoon sun that will bake plants. So I put it over here just so I have one dahlia that I grew that would not just get absolutely blasted by the sun. I don't know if that's a good experiment or a bad one. We'll have to wait and see if it's a success or a fail. But, you know, it's doing okay right now. And this is what they call a swamp sunflower. And you can see that it does run and spread. So you have to contain it a little bit, but man, y'all wait till I show you when it blooms. It is gorgeous. And this plant, I don't know what it is. I didn't plant that, it just came up on its own. But when I did the Google ID, the first website that came up was invasive.com. And I'm like, man, if it's invasive, I gotta get rid of it. Not that I don't have some native plants that are slightly invasive in here, because I do. But I think y'all know how I hate things that poke and stick me. And look at those thorns. Yeah, I don't know if you can see those or not. But those are some wicked thorns. And the asparagus is looking like Cousin It. Got another rose here. Now this rose and the rose that climbs up on my staircase are thornless. I don't know exactly what kind they are, but I love that they don't have thorns. I don't know if you can see or not, but there are 0 thorns along that branch. Then that is an olive tree. That right there is eucalyptus. I know it doesn't look like eucalyptus, but I'm telling you, I've done the Google lens. If you rub the leaf, it smells like eucalyptus. And I'll show you when I get around there. It shares the root system with what we think of as eucalyptus. Now this is my fig. I'm thinking I love a wabi-sabi design, but that might not be the long-term home for that fig. Because I went to the Friar garden, the topiary garden, and he had a fig tree that was massive. I didn't know they got that big. I thought they stayed around large bush or large shrub size. If it's going to get much bigger than that, I'm probably going to have to move it. But I'm really excited because it is full of figs. Now this plant is what you call a Mexican petunia. Very beautiful, very pretty, but extremely invasive. I mean, you constantly have to fight that plant, trying to keep it in control. It wants to run and take over everything. Need to get out here and weed my Nancy Reagan rose bush. And y'all, I didn't know iris would actually do seed pods, but look at these. I don't know. There's several of them on here, so I think I'm going to let them dry, see if I can collect seeds, and see if I can germinate them and grow some more iris. Typically with iris, they grow and then I just divide them. But that area has kind of gone a little bit more wild than I typically let things. And it has actually bloomed and created seed pods. Oh, before I stop, which I was getting ready to, I know a lot of people love the hosta and fern garden. So these hostas were left here by the previous owner. I don't know what they are, but I love them, so I leave them here. I have added the ferns. That is a Christmas fern, so it can handle the cold here. That is a foxtail fern. I'm hoping because it's protected that it will be able to make it through the winter and come back. There's another fern in there. I don't know if you can see it or not. And then the hosta, I actually grew from a cutting of the hostas out in the yard, and it is loving that area. And it blooms blue, whereas if you look just across the walkway, that one, same thing. Rooted cutting from the same hydrangea mother plant, and it's pink. So there's got to be something different about the soil pH there with it being pink. And you can see some of the hostas have gotten some sunburn. I think it's a combination of not enough moisture because we didn't have rain. And it is a little more sunny there. It's not quite as protected with the deck above it. And then there, let me show you. So you've got eucalyptus, which looks like our traditional eucalyptus that we're used to seeing. And then from the same rootstock, you have this. Look how tall and full that is. And again, if you do Google Lens, it says it's a eucalyptus. And if you rub the leaves, it smells like eucalyptus. And that's the only one of my eucalyptus that's done that. Of course, it's the only eucalyptus I have in the ground. So, interesting. I don't know, I just thought I'd share that. Uncle Dev was amazed when he saw it, and he's like, I don't think that's the same plant. And I'm like, it is the same plant. I'm like, look at the root system. It comes from the same rootstock. He's like, well, I'll be darned.